A very interesting fact about the world today, being that I write, I write travel fiction, literary fiction novels, and also science fiction novels, but I write literary fiction novels, which, focus a lot on social culture, social commentary on the culture today, kind of like, I don't know, Henry James or, even Kurt Vonnegut or something like that. Or, like, you know, uh, Bonfire of the Vanities, by anyway. So I'm not going to talk about all the authors that are similar, but anyway. So I write like social commentary, and one thing I notice about the world today is how people are, very what's the word I'm looking for. Uh, Kind of like celebrity culture worshiping, but also at the same time, not not really engage with other people, not um, you know trying to go somewhere, move somewhere collectively as a people are very group oriented a certain way. They're following groups, like they mindlessly follow groups, but there's no collective purpose. There's no like the 60s or something like that, where we're all on a collective, we're all united in some collective purpose, some meaningful purpose. We're moving forward as a society. There's like none of that, unless you include like AI or something, but people are essentially, they're not united in a single purpose, working toward a common goal of improving the future, improving society, making it a better place for their children, or, making it, more moral or, more wealthy or something more brighter, more encouraging, more spiritual, whatever, more inspiring. Like there's none of that these days. It's just like, dumb stuff like social media. It's like really kind of petty, silly stuff. Like material stuff. Like I'm buying a bunch of material things, objects, or I can do some gimmicky thing on social media that's kind of quirky and gimmicky, like pranking people or something like that. But there's no sort of like cohesive social culture where people are united in kind of a single purpose, and that's really, so there's no unity among the people. Like people themselves are not really united in any sort of way. So like there's no, and so it's hard to connect with people. People are group oriented in a sense. They're kind of conformist in certain ways, primarily due, I would say, to rap culture and entertainment culture. People use the same lingo and the same languages, so there's a group orientation, there's a group conformity, but there's no like united purpose, which is really kind of ironic. You think they would naturally go together, but they don't. We've kind of separated, we've separated the two, conforming to groups and going along with the group and have a united purpose. Like there's none of that today. You do have the group conformity, but there's no sort of united social purpose, leading us on into the future, creating a brighter future for everyone. Very strange world we live in today. So that's my social commentary today from the literary fiction side of my brain.